Welcome to Washington East to West Sports, episode 138. I am Matt Beatty, joined alongside, as usual, by Sean Beatty, Kevin Ardall. If you want to get involved in the show, go ahead and blue sky at us. I am at Master B. Kevin is at Emerald Bowler. Sean is Nasty Billy 22 on X. Sean is Nasty Billy 22. Kevin is SEA2 Believe C2 Believe. Subscribe to us on YouTube and tell us what you think of the topics we talk about in the comments below. Guys, we've got some hockey coming up. That's right. Hockey season is almost upon us, so let us talk about some Seattle Kraken hockey. It's been a while since we've talked about some Seattle Kraken hockey. They've had some coaching changes since we've talked, and some different moves. So, Sean, what are you expecting from the Seattle Kraken team this year?
Man, we have so many great things to talk about on this podcast. We're going to start off with a real bummer. This is not going to be a good hockey team. So, um, I'm anticipating no playoffs. Spoiler for the playoff shot.
You did predict last year they were going to go to the playoffs.
I predicted they would squeak in. Yeah, and they have just not. It is just more the same. Again, they have some nice pieces, but I'm predicting like 79 points, 80 points, no playoffs.
79 points. Okay, you're already going. That's your prediction, 79 points. Let me
Call it
see what
80,
they,
just make it a nice round
let me see what
number.
they were last year. Let me see what they were last year. Last year they were 76.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were not good. And I don't consider
Um,
it to be much different.
okay.
Yeah.
79 points, that's your prediction. I do think they're going to be a little bit better than that. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they need a little bit more time to let these younger players develop. But I hope they do let these younger players play, like Yager Furkis, Berkeley Catton. Some of these guys get some time out there. I don't know if Berkeley's going to make the team. It's he might go back to Spokane, but he might just go to Coachella Valley. We'll see what they want to do with him. But I think they're going to be a little bit better, and I think they'll like rush up against playoff contention, but I think they'll fade away. You said 79. Um, I'm looking at this, and last year the last place in the Western Conference to make it was 96 points. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go an even 90. I'm going even 90 points with the Kraken here.
Okay,
I
so who gets worse in the West to make up for these points? Because the points are going to come from somewhere.
I think that Anaheim's gonna be worse. I think that Calgary's gonna be worse. I
Weren't they already both not very good, though?
both weren't very good, but you're saying they have to pass people. They're gonna pass these teams, right?
Well, no, like
That's what I'm saying.
they'll both take a hit in points to make up for the Kraken's increase in points.
Yeah, yeah. The Flames at 96 almost made it. I think they take a bit of a decrease. I think Anaheim at 80. They have a lot of young pieces, but I just don't think it comes together. And I think there are some other teams now, and their division specifically. I think it's going to probably be about the same three teams. I think Vegas, Edmonton, and LA. I could see falling off a little bit, but I think they still get in. Um, and then I think the Central takes most of the playoff spots again. Um, Teams like Utah was ahead of them last year, and I think they're going to get a little bit worse this year. I think St. Louis is going to be worse this year, so I think there will be some parity, but I think there will be, of course, there's always usually a surprise team that plays really well and makes the playoffs for the first year. So I I I don't want to go straight chalk because it's rarely ever straight chalk. So like, Minnesota, I think is going to make a big improvement. I think Winnipeg's going to come down a little bit. So I think San Jose's going to come up a bit because 52 points was pretty bad. So I think they're going to be better. I don't think they're going to be much better, but I think they're going to be
So
better.
I think San Jose cracks close to 70. I think close to
I think
70.
Chicago will be better this year. I think they'll improve. Now they're at 61, so the bar is pretty low, but
Chicago will probably. My bet is San Jose is the second worst team, and Chicago's the worst team in the NHL.
I don't think Chicago's going to be. I think
Who's gonna be
Chicago's
Who's gonna be the worst?
who's going to be the worst.
Yeah,
Ooh. Hmm.
because I think it's between San Jose and Chicago, and Sharks have a goalie now, and Macklin Celebrini is just better than Connor McGarr at this point, like just straight up. And
I
they have more pieces around him too.
I think the worst team, like I'm looking.
Fighting for that number one pick. Who is it? Who's got the best odds
You
coming
know,
in?
I'm gonna lean honestly Nashville. I think Nashville's gonna be the
I just
worst team.
my problem, Matthew, is
I
what
think
else
that
is in Chicago?
those older like there's not a lot else in Chicago, but I think their younger players are gonna be. I think Bedard will be much better this year.
Yeah,
And I think
he could probably take a step, but like what other young players? like like they've all kind of flamed out. I mean, I'm just saying like they just didn't do anything, and I'm like I just there has to be real like obviously to win more than 60 points, or you said, is not like a Herculean
yeah,
effort, but like
absolutely, absolutely
they could get to 68, but that still might be last in the NHL, or 64,
could
because
be,
like it's
could be.
just not there's just not a lot there, I don't think. And Connor could still take the step, and they could still just be bad because they have no goalies, they have no depth, they have nothing on the bottom of the bottom two pairs. I just got off topic with the Kraken, but I think that they're gonna go down, so the Sharks are gonna go up. I think Calgary. I think they'll still push for the playoffs. I think they'll still push. My issue with the Kraken is Joey is a goalie and he needs to be your front guy. He's going to be the front guy this year. But if he gets any nicked up at all, I don't have any faith in anything happening. And you have to anticipate some injuries in the NHL.
I mean, yeah, I think
Like
you
you
have to do
got it
that in
more than other
every sport
sports.
for the most part. But
But like
yeah,
NHL especially, like it's the nature of the game. But like Joey is like really propping up that goalie team, and I really like him a lot. But like, you have a bunch of Shane Wright. I don't know if Matty Beniers is ever going to take that step, and that's not a problem. Like, he's going to be a good player, but like, if Shane Wright can take a step, that's fine. But I don't, like you said, Matthew Fergus. I don't think he's playing. Maybe not, or he'll probably play. He'll probably
see
play at
here,
some
here's the
point.
thing. Here's the thing. Shane Wright got better last year. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he
well,
gets
it was a
better
pretty low
again.
bar, but it was like
Yeah, of
it's
course. The
like the
bar was
Blackhawks. It's
yeah,
a low bar,
yeah,
but yeah,
yeah,
he's got a lot of talent. He's underrated, I think.
yeah.
He can his window his he was at one point going to be the unanimous number one overall pick. You don't just fall into it, no matter how weak of air quote weak of a draft it is. You still have a lot of talent to be considered be
Yeah.
taken number one.
I think
But
Chandler
like,
Stevenson was better than
who
I
is
thought he
who
was
is
going to be better
who
last
is
year.
like yeah, I think that's a career year. He's fine. That's my problem. He's fine. Mono, um, um, I'm convinced. I'm monitor. Gosh, I'm butchering his name.
Montour?
Yeah, he's fine, but they're not like needle movers. The only one that I need the needle mover is I just think Maddie is who Maddie is, and I think Shane Wright can take a step forward, and like Burley Catton's not going to play, maybe get the end of the year type thing, but like Furcus, it's a lot to put on a very young kid. You know what I mean? Like it's
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. But
not
I
everyone is Macklin Celebrini, so it's just like it's I don't see where that huge jump in talent comes from. You know what I mean? Like I don't where do they get better talent
well,
wise?
I don't agree with you with Matty Beniers. I think he can be better, and I think he will be better this year.
Well,
I
better is arbitrary. Like I need him to take a step. Like not like you could be score a couple more points, do the thing, but I need you to be another tier. I need you to take another to do the thing. You getting like six more points is yeah, you played a little better, but
oh
like
no, I think I think he'll have about a 20-point increase at least.
he
I
he
bet.
basically has to like or else
I
like
would bet on that.
he's
And
still a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player, borderline NHL All Star. Nothing wrong with that. But like, if you don't got that needle mover at the top, I don't know where the ceiling is. I don't know where you're going to jump these teams if you don't have that guy.
I think that their depth scoring is what they're going to rely on. There are very few guys who are that top tier, like you said, and I think they're relying on their depth scoring, and it worked for them one year. It has to work for them this year to have success, and I think it will be somewhat there, but not there
It,
enough.
it's failed more than it's worked. And my point is like every playoff team usually has at least a guy you're like, man, that guy's going to get us a point, 80 points. He's going to get us a point on a power play. We need it. I That's what it has to be for Maddie. Maddie has to turn into that for this team to take a jump this year. If he doesn't turn into that as a player, that's not a knock on Maddie. He's still a very good player regardless. But the Kraken need to find that player. You need to find that dude at some point in order to spin in the wheels every year at the Kraken. And I'm like, and you're kind of just wasting Matty Beniers. You need to kind of put him around some guy.
I
You need to maybe Barkley can turn into that. But like again, he's not going to be on the team this year. Like Shane Wright could take a step, but I don't know if he's ever going to be. I think Maddie's going to be the best player with between him and Shane Wright for their entire careers. But like,
Uh,
I need that guy to move that needle, and I don't see. That's why I'm like, 78, 9 points. I'm just like, there's no. It's not moving that needle for me.
I think Matty can get to 80 points. I'm not going to bet on it, but I think he can. And I think you can see in the league, like the defending champions, they only had one guy who scored 80 points, and they
Yeah,
did
but
have some injuries, of course.
they
But
have three superstars on that team. Four if you include the Big Pay Bob.
well, I don't. I would say like two.
Reinhold, Barkov, and Matthew Kachuk are superstars. They're superstars.
I do not think Reinhardt is. He is the highest scorer, but I wouldn't call him a super. I would say Barkov
He's
and Kachuk are, and
I
those
don't
guys
know.
are mainly playoff scorers, not so much
Those
regular
guys.
season necessarily.
Well,
So
and to be fair, two of those guys are going to be missing at the start of the year for the Florida
exactly,
Panthers. We'll
exactly.
get
So
to
they're
that
going to be
later, but
starting. But if they have depth scoring and they come back, then it's going to work out. And
well, Barkov's not.
I
He
think
tore
they'll
his
have that.
ACL. He tore his
Well, yeah,
ACL.
I know, but
He's
Kachuk will
done.
come
But
back. Yeah.
yeah, but
So
like, there's no depth scoring to make up for Kachuk. Like you're going to suffer. Period.
I
Like
mean, they were without him after the Four Nations face-off, and they still played well enough, got in,
made
and
it.
then he came back.
Yeah,
I
that's what
mean,
I'm saying.
yeah,
Like
it's like,
they'll still be worse than they would with him. Like obviously,
oh yeah,
but like
absolutely, absolutely.
that's what I'm
All
saying.
right.
Like you're never going to miss a guy like that and then be better.
So we've
So
given our point prediction, Sean. Now give me your Stanley Cup final prediction. Who you got at the end in the Stanley Cup finals?
uh man. You go first. Let me keep thinking about it. I
All
keep going
right.
back and forth.
In the Western Conference, I think the Oilers' Western Conference reign comes to an end, and I really like the Minnesota Wild this year. They just signed Kirill Kaprizov to the biggest contract in NHL history. I like a lot of their pieces. They kind of slowed down towards the end of the season last year, and they played pretty well, even though they were pretty much shorthanded. And I think Matt Boldy and those guys are going to improve even more. And I think the Minnesota Wild are going to make the Stanley Cup Finals. And then in the East, that one is a little tougher for me. I I've been kind of bouncing around a couple teams, and it's hard to bet against Florida, but like you said, those two guys are going to be gone. One for the entire season, one for basically half the season, as well as they got that intermission for the Olympics. Uh, I look at Tampa Bay and they have a lot of good players, and they still have like a lot of good scoring. Their goaltending is Vasilevsky is great. Last year, the Washington Capitals made a run. I OV kind of peaked, and I don't think that happens again this year. Carolina, I really, really like, and they just can't quite get over the hump. Um, I think I'm gonna go Carolina, Minnesota in the Stanley Cup Finals, and I think Kirill shows he's the best player in the world, and they win the Stanley Cup
Well,
Finals.
he's the best player in the world. Okay, well
Yeah, yeah.
that's Connor McDavid's locked it down. So
I mean, sure,
um, I mean he is, but like it's a team game.
sure.
So I always pick Edmonton because Connor McDavid just drags that corpse of a franchise to the Stanley Cup Finals every year. But I think at some point there's so much hockey for him. I think he's going to break down. I really hate to do it. I always want to pick Edmonton, and you kind of touched on it, but Dallas is super good too. Do I dare pick Vegas? No, I'm gonna do Dallas. I'm gonna say Dallas goes from the West. Can I throw out a crazy wild card here for the East?
Like, you think they're gonna make the wild card, or they're?
No, no. Like I think a team's gonna do the thing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think the New Jersey Devils are gonna make a run at this thing.
All
I
right.
think they
I
have a
don't
lot
I
of
don't
young
hate that.
talent,
I don't
and
hate that.
I think that they can do the thing. If they play up to their talent, I think they can. Now, if you told me like I my gut tells me Tampa Bay, but I just want to go off the cuff a little bit. I'm going to say New Jersey. I'm going to say Jersey because I think a lot of the teams in the East got worse. Like Toronto got worse. Obviously, you don't lose that type of talent and get better.
I mean,
Eh,
I will say I don't think. Toronto falls off a cliff, and
No, but they
you know
again they just got worse though. You know what I mean? Like they didn't get better. Carolina, they're just getting older. They're not replacing anything. They've had this, like you said, they had the same team for 4 years and it's been great, but like now they're just 4 years older. Like it's not they're not getting
well,
better. They're just getting older now.
their guys aren't super old
No,
though.
but like it's still like it's 4 years later. Like you're like you've got to do your window is like closing, and it's like
They're
you're
not
not
the
28.
Buffalo Bills. They haven't get to the finals 4 times, but they've been
But
on the
that's what I'm saying.
doorstep.
Like
Yeah,
you're now 32, not 28. Like that's harder to do that now at that age versus the other way around. And the Rangers, I can't trust that. Like you said, Washington Capitals, that's a great story, but I just think that was a story. I don't think talent wise they're enough. And I'm just like looking at the other teams like Philly, Columbus, the Islanders. Like you said, Florida, it was Florida's to lose, and then they might just. It's going to be such an uphill battle for them. So I'm like, New Jersey's got a lot of young talent. I think they're gonna fill the void. I think they're gonna fill the
they got
void and
your
make a run.
former boy Timo Meyer. I mean, they got
Still
some guys.
solid. Quinn, they got one of the
Tatar,
70.
Palat,
They got one of the
Hughes. Yeah,
70 Quinn
yeah.
brothers on that team. Like
You mean the Hughes brothers?
or Hughes brothers. I said, yeah,
hmm
yeah.
Nico Hersher, like they've got some dudes. They've got some dudes. I don't hate that pick, and I could absolutely see that happening. I think the goaltending is just going to be the biggest question. Like,
Yeah.
does
But
Jake
again,
Allen? Are they
the
going with
The
Jake
East just
Allen?
got
Do they
worse.
Markstrom? Like, who are they going with? So we'll see what
I don't
happens
know.
there.
I think the East got worse, and I think it's up for grabs. Let's see what happens.
Well, I will be at the Kraken home opener or season opener on October 9th, so I'll have a live report from that game going with our dad. Kevin, you got a Stanley Cup prediction there?
Oh yeah,
Say two teams, Kevin.
Give it.
it's gonna be the Blue Jackets versus the Mammoth.
Oh, I that would be interesting.
Man, if Kevin calls this, you
Yeah,
heard it here first.
absolutely.
We're
Absolutely.
getting we're getting on like ESPN, Kevin. If you called that,
Which, by the way, thank you, Utah, for not being the Utah hockey team anymore. You almost tried to
I,
do that. That
I
would have
know
been
someone
stupid.
from Utah, and they really wanted that to be the name, and I was like, no, we're not
No,
doing that. We're not
no.
doing that.
And it's a
Not letting
shame that the Yeti like brand of like water bottles would not allow them to use Yeti as it's just stupid. But Mammoth is
I
still
feel
pretty
like
good.
that
Mammoth
was a
is pretty
perfect
good.
partnership. Like you could
Right?
have used that and then been like, we're the Yeti Dome or whatever you want to call it, and then like you've already got the marketing.
Uh, Kraken whiskey has a deal
Yeah,
with the Kraken hockey. It
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
It's the same
But
thing. Just
you know,
or it's already exists. Just
yeah,
partner it up. Yeah,
yeah, makes no sense. All right. Well, let us know what you think of the upcoming NHL hockey season. Go ahead and blue sky at us. I'm a Master B. Kevin is Emerald Bowler. Sean is Nasty Billy 22 on X. Sean is Nasty Billy 22. Kevin is C to believe, SEA to believe. Subscribe to us on YouTube and let us know what you think of the Kraken upcoming season below. Let's talk some Seattle Seahawks. And we recorded a couple days before their most recent game, and it was a 23-20 win in Arizona. Kevin, you didn't get a chance in the hockey round, so we're going to go to you first for the football round. What'd you think of the Seattle Seahawks against the Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah, I watched because I was working. I watched the first half of it live, and then the condensed version came out. So the second half I watched just the condensed version, which is essentially it's just
I'm
you know
glad you got to watch the condensed version for the second. Yeah,
because either it was I was like I could just watch the condensed version and finish this in 20 minutes, or I can watch the second half for another hour and a half.
you could have just punched the air for 40 minutes then, Kevin,
Yeah,
like for the second
yeah.
half.
So all in all, I thought it was an okay win. Um, yeah, do I like giving up that kind of a big league? No. But I mean, they figured some stuff out, and the other team's paid to play. They kind of got things downfield. They finally figured things out with Marvin Harris toward the end because that connection between them, Marvin Harris and oh Jesus, I'm forgetting his name.
Kyler Murray?
Kyler, yeah, was not looking great. Uh, and I mean, though props to Kyler for not just throwing it on him, because most quarterbacks that are bad would do that. So that's good for him for not throwing all the shade on to Mr. Harris. But I will say that Arizona's defense put up more of a fight than I predicted. But at the same time, too, I also know this offense is kind of going through growing pains a little bit, especially since I sent a little thing to Sean. Our right guard is not like he's
Bradford. Yeah.
yeah, Bradford is just it's honest. He's honestly a traffic cone. It's what Anthony Bradford is. Like I don't know who we have on depth, but you might as well just throw him in there because they're probably going to be better than Anthony. Like we probably should try it out. Because it does Abe Lucas no good having just literally nothing to his left. And I think Abe Lucas would play better too, and I think the center would probably play better if Anthony Bradford was just gone. And just we just tell him to look at the flowers. Yeah. Um, all in all, though, I was okay with it with even with Arizona putting up a better, performance than what I thought. I still thought we still performed well. Sure, JSN didn't get his targets, but I mean, everybody needs to like everybody's proving their pants that JSN had like nothing other than one target, and I was like, there's gonna be games where it's just he. Do you want if he's not open? Do you want us to throw it to him? Like, no,
I mean,
he's double
five targets,
covered.
4 for 79, and
Yeah, he had
it's
80
not
yards.
horrible. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
but
he eventually came. Yeah, but like people were still freaking out. Like I was just like, if he's double covered and he's not open, you're not going to throw it to him. You're go have Darnold's doing what he should be doing and going through his progressions and getting it to other dudes. Um, I thought defense played solid. Reek is still kind of my question mark on that team. I'd like to see better play out of him, of course. Like we kind of mentioned this last week. Josh Jobe is very has surprised me a lot with the performance that that man's put on. I'm not saying he's like Richard Sherman, but for being on the practice squad this year, last year, to what he's doing now, it's like good. And I like to see it. Um, Other than that, not a whole lot to say. It was a division game. Most of the time, division rival games are going to be close. So the fact that it was what it was, yeah, I'm okay with it. Other than our kicker's missed kick, that was not good. I didn't like that, but yeah, I'll pass it.
well, I watched the first half of the game, and fairly satisfied. The defense was solid. I did learn something though that the play where the ball goes right to Kobe Bryant, he picks it off, then fumbles it back to the Cardinals.
Yeah, that
I
was
didn't
bad.
realize that was a new considered a new drive, like a
Yeah,
turnover then a
it's a
turnover.
first down.
That's kind of
Yeah.
weird. I don't think that makes any sense because
Well,
they
if you
gave up
think about it,
possession
man.
for like
Yeah.
3 seconds.
So, but if you think about it this way, so Cardinals have it, it's whatever down. Seahawks have it now because like the
There was
Seahawks
no
didn't
other
have it,
down.
right? But like you understand that if they go down,
Same
it is
play.
first down. So it assumes first down, then it goes back. It has to assume first down again.
I
So
think that's
like,
dumb, but okay, fair
but
enough.
like,
I
what
get
happened to
it,
the
but I
Seahawks
think it's
first?
dumb.
What
Yeah.
happens to the Seahawks first down if they fumble it back? It has to assume possession on
Uh,
both sides.
yeah, it's kind of weird. Because I think he gave them first down yardage where he
Yeah.
fumbled. I don't whatever.
Well, yeah. Either way,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And yeah, I thought that the offense was solid. It wasn't barn burner or anything like that. Like it was against the Saints or even the Steelers. They did enough to win the game. The Cardinals, I was watching the third quarter and then I went to hockey and it was like 17-6 and I'm like, okay, well I can go to hockey, don't have to worry about this. And we have the hockey game on at hockey or sorry, the football game on hockey anyway. So I get in there and it's 2013 and I'm like and Arizona's driving. I'm like, what is going on here? Because I was then listening to it on the radio. Guess I should have. And then they score tie the game. And as we're kind of playing, I tapped out and watched them kick the field goal. So, Kevin said okay win. A win is always good, and I would describe it as okay because, letting that team back after how much you were dominating on defense was not great. Not great. I mean, the defense has been pretty solid all year. I would say that's probably the worst they've looked all season in that second half, or that fourth quarter in particular. Now, I, I I thought Kyler and Marvin would get going, and they did. But you know the Cardinals just I don't I don't understand what their offense is trying to do. Like, James Conner's missing, so they gave Trey Benson some runs, and that's, to be expected. And they don't utilize Kyler's legs like a lot of other teams with running quarterbacks do, and it's just really odd, especially since he's arguably one top five fastest, I would say. So I don't get at the quarterback position, so I don't get why they don't try to utilize him with quarterback runs or options. And it's weird. It's weird. Cliff Kingsbury was a better OC for Kyler than anyone else has been, and it's been horrible since then. Um, on the defensive side of the ball, like I said, letting the lack in wasn't great, but I thought Uchenna Nwosu looked solid out there. Like, but we don't want him to get hurt again, so we can't say his name too much.
You
Um,
already
I know, I ruined it. I ruined it. So, but
UCL.
I thought he looked good out there. So that's encouraging to see. And Kevin brought up Reek. I mean, he had like what, three pass interference calls or something like that. Now, of course, sometimes you want to do that as opposed to give it the big play. But uh, I said at the beginning of the year that Reek is trying to play for a contract, and so far he hasn't earned a contract. Like, I like
Reed is
Josh Jobe.
playing for a spot on this roster
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point.
And Kevin was trying to compare Josh Jobe to some. This feels like when they found DJ Reed, after some of those injuries, and DJ Reed emerged as a good cornerback. And that's kind of what it feels like here, is that they've kind of found somebody in Josh Jobe. Now, there's still a full season of a bunch more games to play, so we'll see how it turns out. But overall, I'm liking what I see with Josh Jobe, and I see him taking over that other cornerback spot opposite of Devin Witherspoon at some point, if not now. So overall, I think the defense was good enough, offense was good enough, and take the win. Sean, what do you think?
So, I'll say this. Let's just say we all, I don't know exactly, remember what our exact things were, but we all, let's keep in mind, we all predicted the Cardinals to be a good team. So this isn't like the Saints. So a a tougher win was in order. I mean, yeah, sure, we went up to a big lead, but we got to understand we did all predict Cardinals to be good. So this was going to be, and it's in Arizona. It's going to be weird. It's just going to be a weird game in Arizona. So they're good. They're going to make a run at us. We knew that. I'll say this: Kyler Murray averaged less than 5 yards a pass in the game. Like, we beat up Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray got sacked 6 times. Now I'll say that the O line is bad. So Nwosu did play well, but you take advantage of the bad O line. But we did sack him 6 times, so we did what we were supposed to do. 6 sacks against Kyler Murray. Matthew, I think to your point, why they don't run him very much is they're not blocking for anybody. Is the problem. Like, you call a run for Kyler Murray, he's just going to get another hit. Like, there's just nothing out there, unfortunately. Like, Cedric Benson averaged 4 yards a pop. I mean, that's actually better than I thought it was. 12 of it came on one. He had eight
Trey
rushing yards.
Benson.
That's Trey Benson. He had one 12-yard run, and then other than that, he had like 2 yards of carry. Like, it was just nothing going. So I mean, Kyler Murray had 5 rushes and was our leading rusher for the day. So that just tells you how bad they are at running the ball. And I will say this too: Marvin Harrison Jr. has struggled. They even cheered when he scored a touchdown, and that's how bad it's been. So there was a prominent film watcher who watches the Seahawks who says, and he's on this hill, saying like Woolen is good 80 or 90% of the time, and we just focus on the 10%. And my counter to him would be, but when the 10% is so bad, it does matter. Like, when the 10% is like a 30-yard pass interference or a touchdown, the 10% outweighs the 90. Like, if you're locking down 90, but 10% is, if 10% is bad or you're giving up a slant that you miss, oh, dang it, maybe a first down, that's one thing. But a 38-yard pass interference twice a game and then a touchdown, like, that's a big 10% to be missing. Every time you miss, it's 40 yards or points. Like, I'm just like, you gotta be tighter then. So I guess I'll touch on defense first. Matthew, I'll say Josh Jobe is starting. Unfortunately, he does not play the same position as Reek.
Is it nickel corner?
What? Yes, what I will say is the guy back up behind Reek is technically, now we're 4 weeks in, so number of snaps has to qualify and everything like that, is the number one rated corner in all of football. That is Kendrick. And these don't just,
Kendrick?
yes, these don't include just like passes that are thrown to him, because like grades and everything take into account even plays where you're not throwing the ball, like how close are you, even the ball wasn't to you, things like that. It takes account every single snap, and he's like he's on these guys. We focus because he should have 4 picks really because he's dropped 2, but he's caught other 2. So he's around the ball every time. Like, and so yes, he's the highest graded corner in football, and SIS total points has him as number 1 as well. He's been very good. So I think
What do they have percent of snaps that he plays?
I
Because
don't, I can't I didn't see that, but
he's
he's been it's
maybe
also
50,
it's
maybe
been
50.
increasing, and Reek did get benched last year with under Mike, and I don't know if that's too far off with how well Kendrick has been playing. So and I'm not maybe opposed to that right now. Like he's locking down dudes. And if you tell me I have Devin Witherspoon, how well Josh Jobe has been playing, and then the number 1 rated corner as my 3 guys out there, I'm feeling a lot better because again, like to Kevin's point, it basically the game's over if Reek doesn't just get torched by Marvin Harrison over and over. Like the game's over in the half, basically. Kevin doesn't have to condense the second half of the game if like Woolen isn't being targeted all the time. So that was the frustrating part. Everybody else, the D line played great. Uh, um, Tyrese Knight, can you stop causing the hardest hit you've hit all season is knocking the ball out of Love's or Kobe Bryant's hands? Can we like chill out there a little bit? I'll say this on the offense. Kevin, absolutely right. Anthony Bradford, just a dumpster fire. The problem is the only backup is on the IR right now. So yeah, we could shift Mason Richmond over there or Bryce Cabaludu or whatever his name is. But it's what it is right now. It is what it is. And we talked about upgrading on line, and we upgraded a center, and we upgraded a guard, but we weren't going to upgrade all 3 this year. And it was just as going to be the rough spot of the season. And hopefully they know, again, like they did last year with Greg Zabel, will address the other guard next year.
I
But
guess you'd rather have the right guard because that way you can kind of see it coming as
it,
opposed
it
to the
would,
blind
yeah, it
side.
would, you'd rather be the right guard. That's obviously why you stack the left side. But still, it's just like, man, it's just not great. And I don't think it's going to be. I'll say this tight ends as a team looking great. AJ Barner, Arroyo, awesome so far. Cooper Kupp, only 4 catches, a couple yards, but all but one, I think, 3 of the 4 were all first downs. Jackson Smith, 80 yards. Kenneth Walker averaged over 4.5 yards a pop.
I got 4.3 here.
Oh, 4.3, yeah. Oh, they averaged 4 and 4.4 as a team. Okay. But yeah, like it's nice. Sam Darnold, I don't really QBR has obvious flaws, but it's better than passer rating. But it's at a scale of 1 to 100, and Sam Darnold's was 75, and Kyler Murray's was 28. Like we dominated this game pretty much according to Sam Darnold. 9 yards of completion, 1 touchdown. Yeah, but like they pretty much controlled it. I didn't like how conservative we got at the end, and I almost raged when we settled for a 50, what was it, 58 yarder that he missed. Kevin, do you remember how long it was? I don't remember how long the miss was. But I'm sitting there talking to our friend, and she's like, "Oh, we're doing it," and I'm like, "Why are we running it 3 times? We're still like, this is super long, crazy field goal range. If we just go for some more yards instead of just running with Zach Charbonnet 3 times, we can get a little bit closer of a field goal and then ice it that way. Instead, we play for the long game, miss it. We deserve to lose because that was a stupid thing. Then they score and they don't go for 2, which was super stupid, and then they ended up losing because of that. So we screwed up, they screwed up, we got back, and we got it. So, but it was just absolute insanity. I will say, yeah, like I think the offense played pretty well, and Glennon is, he's not a bad, or Gannon is not a bad football coach, like a defensive coach. Maybe not a head coach, but like as terms of like getting a defense, this defense does not have a lot of talent on it, like at all. And they're a solid unit right now. They're a very solid unit. So I will say that like he does a pretty good job. He did a pretty good job last year of making this, getting the most out of his team. Something coach recently did not. And thank God we have Mike McDonald now because he actually gets the most out of his team, and the defense is playing much better. So I think all in all, it was a good win. These division games in Arizona are going to be nasty, and yeah, people predicted, Matthew. You predicted them to be second in the division. How many wins? 10, 9 wins.
Yeah, about I think I said 10.
So
Yeah.
like if you tell me we go on the road against a 10-win team and gut one out, that's fine. Like that's what good teams do. They gut ones out against the good teams. That's what we did.
All right, we will take a quick break and we will come right back with some more Seahawks talk and some Mariners in the future. Stick with us. Welcome back to Washington East to West Sports. Thank you so much to our sponsors, our advertisers. We make millions of dollars here, as you can all tell from the production value. So thank you for supporting this podcast. Thank you for subscribing. If you want to subscribe, hit that subscribe button, smash it real hard on YouTube for us. Tell us what you think of the topics we talked about in the comments below. Let's get back to our talk about the Seahawks and let's move on specifically to the NFC West. It is a tight division race right now. We've got three teams sitting at 3-1, and then the Cardinals are there at 2-2. Um, we all talked about this division in the beginning of the season that it was going to be pretty good, and it's so far living up to that billing. Sean, what have you thought of the rest of the NFC West so far?
Um, yeah, it's a gauntlet right now. The Rams, they tried their hardest to lose to the Colts, but unfortunately could not do that for us. And then it was funny that I think the 49ers injuries are catching up to them. Um, and they took an L to the Jags, and they did the Jags should have probably blown them out more, but the Jags are going to Jags. So the Jags tried to give them the game, but no, they held on. So tied for first, I guess technically not first because the 49ers had the tiebreaker over us. But you told me coming in the season we're 3-1, 4 games in, I'd be ecstatic. So yeah, I knew it was gonna be a tough division. I don't think any team, maybe one goes 8-9 in the division. So, but I maybe wouldn't be surprised if all teams were above 500. So yeah, this is about we have one team at 2-2, and the rest are above 500. So it's not shocking. Probably right on line.
Kevin, what have you thought of the NFC West?
It's about kind of what I thought it would be. I thought Arizona would be kind of toward the bottom, but still good, like around a 500 team. The Rams are doing scary, scary things. That front seven is very good. Literally they already have over 8 people on the team that have a sack at each.
And Puka might just
Yeah,
be the best receiver in football. Like holy
yeah.
crap!
Honestly,
Like
he
holy
honestly,
crap!
He
you could
looks
make
good,
an
yeah.
argument that
You
he's
could,
the
yeah.
best receiver in football right now. Matthew Stafford's doing crazy things. He's that's the thing. It's just as we mentioned, is Stafford going to remain healthy the whole year?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but they are really, really good. And that Sean McVay guy's pretty much a top, you could argue top two, top three head coach. Uh, yeah, it's yeah, and they're also like very young too, very young team. That's what's scary. They've drafted very well, and it's showing. They're not paying really anybody on that team right now, other than like Matthew Stafford.
And
Uh,
Devontae Adams. That's
and
about it.
yeah, that's it. That's the scary part. Like for Seahawks fans, that's the thing you have to kind of be scared of. Like
Well,
they're
I guess we could take solace in the fact that if Matthew leaves, they do have to replace Matthew then
correct.
and find that
Yes.
guy.
But while they have Matthew Stafford and while he's
Yeah.
healthy, they're a very, 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 very scary team.
I'm
Uh,
just saying, Matthew, can you follow Kevin Johnson into the retirement hunt, please?
yeah,
Just follow him to retirement.
yes. The Niners are essentially kind of like what we thought too, but the Niners have been doing kind of what they've done over the last 4 years is that they get hurt. They're just really hurt. Like they're like talented wise, like when they're healthy, they're really good. Like they're up there with us and the Rams. Like it's just going to be a slugfest. But unfortunately, health is kind of an issue. And kind of what we're seeing now, which is kind of an interesting question, like who's better between Mac Jones and their starter? Like it's not.
They're both hurt is the problem. Like that's the problem. Like
Well, no,
Brock
like when they're both healthy, like Brock Purdy's, I would argue is a little bit better, but like, is it worth paying
Brock
$45
Purdy really hasn't been
million?
healthy this year though,
Oh, I
and
know.
neither has Mac Jones really, unfortunately.
But what from the sample size that we've seen, like I just don't know if Brock Purdy's that.
I
Now
would
I'm
I would say
happy
that
they paid him the money. I'm
I
happy.
mean this year, yeah, but like we have a longer run of Brock Purdy with this offense of being better.
Yeah,
But the issue is going to be like they have two hurt quarterbacks. They have two guys at 50% right now.
but it also just shows. I think he's more of a product of the system of Shanahan being a really good coach and having top dudes around.
Well, yeah, that's. I mean, we have as Sam Darnold said. Thank you, Kyle Shanahan, for coaching him up and making him an NFL quarterback because he gives all the credit to the 49ers. So I'll take it. So I even joke with Matthew, we should just take whoever they get rid of and just he teaches them how to play quarterback.
Ugh, gross.
Uh,
It's
but
worked
no,
once.
Honestly, this is going to be honestly I think this is the powerhouse of the division. Like now, yes, Green. I mean, the North is also really good too. Um,
But like to Kevin, I guess to your point, who would win, Bears or the Cardinals?
Cardinals.
right now, I would
Yeah,
say the Cardinals. Week like 10 beyond, I'm going to say the Bears because
you're
like
projecting, but I could see that. But yeah, like
Yeah, I think I can see that with Ben
I could
Johnson getting his
see it,
offense
but they
going.
have
because
Yeah.
to. They have to. They have to
I
do
think
that.
you're going
Yeah,
to see
for sure.
growing pains with Ben Johnson's offense, and then
I
as
think you're
Caleb
seeing
Williams
it.
gets worse, yeah, but and then you're also seeing Caleb Williams getting used to that system, trusting in it, and developing too. Like to where I think week 10 beyond, I think the Bears are a better team. But right now I
We'll
think the
see. We'll
Cardinals.
Yeah, we'll
see.
see.
But like, uh, the Packers are so up and down. They look like they dominate the Lions and then lose to the Browns and then give up 40 to the Cowboys. Now, I'll say this. Cowboys are pretty actually Dak is actually really good. People still sleep on Dak Prescott, but still shouldn't give up 40 points to the Cowboys.
Well, I think the NFC West is as tough as we all thought. You know, the Niners they're hanging in there. I mean, now they've beat what is it? The Saints, I mean you could probably say that about the schedule of most NFC West teams. The
Who
Saints
they beat the Saints
they
and
beat the Seahawks, the Saints, and the Cardinals, and they lost the Jaguars. And then you've got the Rams, who frankly should have beat Philly, and then coughed that one up.
yeah.
Was able to salvage it against the Colts, even though they look like they might lose that game. And they've beaten the Titans and the Texans. And then you've got the Seahawks who have, beaten the Saints, the Steelers, and the Cardinals. And then you've got the Cardinals who have only defeated the Saints and then the Panthers. So when you look at all these schedules, not the toughest, but you beat the teams you're supposed to beat. So all of them have basically done that. So
The
you know,
entire other than the 49ers losing to the Jags, every game has basically gone
and the Jags
the,
are three
the
and one,
favorites.
So I mean they're not.
Yeah, but I think we both probably assume that the 49ers are better than the Jags. And but like it's more of a testament to like how good coached and depth they have to that they're a semblance of a team. I mean, we saw what one injury does to the Bengals. We just saw that on Monday night. Like that's not an NFL team right now. So like the 49ers are hanging in there with just like
Dare I say, dare I say, maybe the Bengals. I think Russ could do well in that situation. I personally, I like
I
Jake
don't know
Browning is
why
awful.
they didn't
Like
I don't
he's
know
worse
why
than
they didn't
Russ.
just throw moonballs to those two guys on the outside.
Yeah.
Bring in Russ and let him throw moonballs to those two guys on the outside.
Now the line's not
What
great, but Russ would operate that
just
offense better. I
that's what
think
I'm saying. Just
personally.
be in shotgun, take two steps back, and just chuck it to Jamar Chase. Let him go get it. That's better than what
Yeah.
they did.
And other observation, no one wants a tie, but if I'm the Packers, I probably do the same thing. Like I get going for the win, but I'm also have no actual stake in
That
it. So
that
I
was so
get the
dumb at the
tie.
end of the game.
I get the
Packers.
tie.
I didn't have any rooting interest in it, but I was like, Packers, what are you doing? Like, how did you almost screw that up at the end of the game? How did
True,
you almost screw
true,
that up?
true.
That was. I'm not even a Packers fan. I was infuriated. I was like, what are we doing here? Like, that was really bad. That
At
was
least
really
give
bad.
him a chance to catch it. No chance to catch it.
Why just I don't know what the point of that was. That was so dumb. But yeah, that was and I was up by big and the my opponent in fantasy scored 5 fantasy touchdowns that game. I did manage to hold on, but I could have done without that. That
But
was
I mean, if
incredibly
you want to talk
frustrating.
fantasy, I mean, Kevin has had a rough time because he has the most points and he's 2-2. And Kevin, I'm
Yep.
sorry. I'm sorry. And
Two
then
and two isn't two
Sean,
and
your
two
wife
isn't
is
as
actually
bad.
leading the league. So, I mean,
2 and 2 isn't as bad because I've seen like
we know who
teams where
knows
it's just
ball in
like
that household better. So,
KP just auto drafts baby and then asks me who
eh,
to take. And
there you go.
I should just take him from her.
Exactly. You should be like, no, actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's predict a couple games here before we get to the Mariners. Tampa Bay at Seattle. Time TBD because of the Mariners ALDS game. Um, but regardless of time, Tampa Bay 3-1 at Seattle 3-1. Want to look up the line, but I don't have it in front of me. Let's make some
Seahawks
predictions.
50.
Give me
Plus
Seattle
190, 3.5,
with the spread though.
3.5.
3.5. Um, boy, I think that's probably a really good line. I think that after last week's game against the Eagles, Baker's gonna be hyped up. And I think this offense is gonna be much better. Mecca's coming back home to Washington. This is gonna be a decent scoring. I'm gonna say 28-27 Seahawks. Sean, what do you think?
25-24 Seahawks.
Kevin?
This is tough. It's like the Bucks offense is very good, though they are losing Evans, but um, the rookie's been doing good. The run
Willicum
game's
High
been
School
solid.
shout out.
Honestly, this is kind of a trap game. But we could lose this game.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know
Absolutely.
if it's a trap game, Kevin. That
I don't think it's
implies
a
the
trap
team's
game. Like
that
Tampa Bay
implies the
is a
team's
good
bad.
team. Like I don't think there's any doubt about it. Like
I don't think they're super good, but they're a solid NFL team. Absolutely.
absolutely.
I'm gonna go 27-24 Bucks.
Ooh, all right. All right. And we'll probably have a little bit more of a break, so let's predict the next one. Seattle at Jacksonville, 10 a.m. on October 12th. Um, this one is interesting. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars have been kind of weird to watch. Like they're either just like incredibly horrific or like I don't even like that San Francisco game was kind of weird because they looked pretty good and should have put them away much earlier. The defense looks much better than last year. Um, Travis Hunter is there. I don't know if he plays both sides of the ball. Uh, this one feels more like a trap game for the Seahawks because I think this is a team they should beat, but I could see them losing in Jacksonville. Duval. Um, I'm s- I'm still gonna take the Seahawks. I'm gonna take a slugfest here. Let's go 20 2017 Seahawks here. Kevin, what do you got?
Um, blah, 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 blah. This is actually a trap game, I think, for the Jags. Uh,
Trap game doesn't. I don't think you know what that means.
Trap game is your favorite, and you could
Yeah, you
lose.
yeah you
Yeah,
blow it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Seahawks will be favored
I,
and
I,
could
I
easily
think we
lose.
continue the streak because the Seahawks have won their last 8 road games, and I think they win again. We're for some reason we're just really good on the road. I don't know why, but we are. Um, I'm gonna say 30-24 Hawks.
Sean, what do you got?
28-13. Jags are not very good at football.
All
They
right.
beat the Panthers. They lost to Jake Browning. We just saw what he did. They beat the Texans, who Kevin, was that you or Zach that sent the worst blocking ever in NFL history, the worst sack, where they just like they literally didn't
How's that?
block anybody, and he just is it Simmons who just they hike the ball and Simmons just hugs CJ Stroud because like no one blocks him. He just gets sacked right. Like that is what CJ Stroud is dealing with at the moment. So it's not good, and they barely beat the Texans. And Matthew, if you watched any of this game, the Jags played awful, but the 49ers were like, no, you win. No, 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 you win, basically. And if the 49ers even sort of were like not playing awful, they win that game. And the Jags tried. They tried their hardest to lose that game. So I just don't think they're very good.
Well,
Like,
let me ask you one question. Well, go. Sorry, go ahead. Make your prediction. Sorry. Oh, you already did.
that's
But
it. 28-13. The
but
Seahawks kind of control this game.
look at the 49ers schedule. Name one game they've actually played good in.
No, they
What's
haven't
the?
played good at all. That's the point. Like the 49ers
But
had not played
maybe
well.
we need to shift what good is for them. I'm just throwing that out there. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're
Yeah, they're
bad,
they're they're. I mean,
but
same with the Eagles. The Eagles didn't complete a
yeah,
pass in the second half of the game. Like
yeah, true,
like
true.
that's
Yeah.
like we just some teams just maybe aren't that good right now.
And I
And
think with 4 weeks, like you could say that about any team. Like they could be really
I
good, and then
think
they could be
we talked
horrible,
about the
like absolutely
biggest
horrible.
the biggest thing is they have two quarterbacks who are not healthy, and the teams are just like stop McCaffrey and he got 40 yards. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
like what's going to happen? They didn't get a single sack in the game. What was the last time you heard a 49ers defense not get a sack? It's just that they're wonky right now, and they're yelling at other coaches after the games. Trevor Lawrence won throwing 170 yards, like for 26 points. It was just they were not playing good, and so it's one of those where they turned the ball over 4 times. That was really the biggest thing. So it was just an ugly game for the 49ers, who played the least ugly won that game, and the Jags played the least ugly, but they did not play well. So that's why I say
All right. Well, let us know what you think of the Seahawks. Your predictions for Tampa Bay and the Jacksonville games. Go ahead and blue sky us. I am at Massa B. Kevin is Emerald Bowler. Sean is Nasty Billy 22 on X. Sean is Nasty Billy 22. Kevin is C to Believe. SEA to Believe. Subscribe to us. Tell us what you think of the topics we talk about in the comments below. Let's talk about the AL West champion Seattle Mariners. That's right. It's officially official because last time I didn't want to go that far because I was afraid, but now I can go that far. I'm not afraid anymore. So they are the AL West champions, and they are the number 2 seed in the AL playoffs. They will face the winner of the Guardians Tigers series. Games 1 and 2 are Saturday, Sunday in Seattle. I tried to get tickets to this game. Holy crap. I don't think I was close. I signed up and then I didn't even get a chance in the queue to buy tickets. And I looked on StubHub because I really want to go. I wanted to take my friend Colby.
nah,
I
no, no,
I
buy a
uh,
house instead.
I bought a condo, so uh if they get to the LCS, I might pull the trigger on these like $400 tickets. I'm seriously considering it because the opportunities have been few and far between. No, they might be more consistent, but I don't know if I can bank on that. So I do really want to go. I know a couple people who are going, and I'm super jealous on Sunday. So hopefully I have a good time. But Guardians Tigers. Guardians have been hot. Tigers were the better team for most of the season. Um, I think either one of us could beat us, but I think we could easily beat them. It's you're in the playoffs, so obviously every team's good, but I'm not afraid to face either of these teams because the Mariners can beat them. If you're asking me to pick which one, Tigers because they slumped in the playoffs, but it's not really like a strong declaration for me. But Kevin, what have you thought of the Mariners and the AL West champions?
Um, you took care of business against the Rockies, even though it got scary there for a little bit, but took advantage that they're the worst team in baseball, which is good. You shouldn't you should sweep that. And then they after it was kind of locked up, and then Houston was went bye-bye. They essentially, just kind of coasted against the Dodgers, which is fine. Like, they let Wu rest, which was good. And so yeah, I thought they played well when they needed to, and then they just kind of they try, they played baseball essentially, but did they give it their all against the Dodgers? But it was just kind of like going through the motions, I guess you could say. But though Kirby looked good against the Dodgers. I mean, 10 Ks. I think he only gave up what 1 or 2 runs. So that's good thing to see. And then you had your fourth and fifth Miller and Castillo, be solid against him. So I'm okay with it. You let Wu rest, which is good. Hopefully he should be well rested. Yeah. So going in, I'm very comfortable with Gilbert, Logan, and Wu being your 1, 2, your 3. I think the order will just depend on if Wu is healthy.
Is that their 1, 2, 3?
Is that yeah? Is it Gilbert?
Honestly, it should be, but
Say Gilbert, Kirby, and Wu. Is that what you said?
oh no, I'm not saying that's the order. I'm just saying
Oh,
that's
okay.
3 guys. No, no, no. Yeah, I think Wu should be your one, but it's going to be based off if Wu is ready by
I was
Friday.
gonna say they have not announced who 3 are, or they do 4. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I think if he needs it, then you have Wu play Saturday, um, and give him an extra day and have either your pick
Well,
of
game one is Saturday.
what's up?
Game one is Saturday.
I mean, sorry, Sunday is what I meant to
Yeah.
say. You have Wu play Sunday, and then you have either Kirby or Logan play Saturday. Um, so Probably whoever's off the most fresh. I guess it would be Logan, because Kirby pitched
Well,
Saturday.
they're all not going to pitch for 5 days, so
Right.
they're all going to be ready to go. It doesn't really
But
matter
he's
at
going
that
to be
point.
more technically fresh because he's had more time off. So I guess you would probably
Well,
give.
fresh is 5 days, so they're all basically maxed. So I mean, you sitting out 3 months isn't going to change anything. It's like they're all ready to go, so they're all locked and loaded. I think at this point.
Honestly, between Logan and Kirby, I really don't. I mean, I guess maybe Kirby because he just came off that hot start against the Dodgers. But like, if you threw out Logan, I wouldn't be mad either because Logan's good too. So
So you guys think
uh,
Castillo is in the bullpen? Is that what I'm hearing?
yes, yeah, I think you have Viller and Castillo in the bullpen.
Uh, my qualm with that comes down to I think you gain more with Kirby out of the bullpen. Lewis, like what I do is I go 4-man rotation at home. I start Lewis at home because Lewis's home numbers are ridiculous. Like this year, they're insane. So I say you give maybe Wu and then Lewis the home starts, and then I go Kirby and Logan on the road and say just lock it down if we can lock it down. And then you might not even need to, whatever order it is at the Kirby and Logan. You don't even need the other one. And I basically make it so Lewis starts at home every time. His numbers are ridiculous at home. They're not great on the road. So I say, like, you're my home starter. If I can get a 2 year rate out of you every day from home start, absolutely, let's do it. Let's roll with it. So because he's just been amazing. So and then yeah, Miller's in the pen. So but that's what I would say. But I just Lewis doesn't get much. He's
Do you
not
mean
going to gain much of
Luis?
his.
Yeah.
But Luis, sorry, he's not going to
Okay.
gain
Yeah.
much from a miles an hour in his fastball. He doesn't. He's not going to get that. Whereas Kirby, is going to throw 100 if you put him out of the pen. When was the last time Castillo did that? I don't
Oh.
know.
I
Kirby last time we in the playoffs did it. So
I don't think you could go wrong, but
yeah, we don't have a
yeah.
Scooble. Like that's the problem. I mean, or not a problem. It's a great problem to have, but we just any of those four I'm comfortable starting if we're talking about at home. Any of those four because like we don't have a Scooble. We don't have a Garrett Crochet. So we have four solid, awesome starters. So it's really fine, honestly.
Yeah.
Sean, what did you
Um,
think of the Mariners? The end.
yeah, it was you go 17-1. I mean, it's in September. Awesome. End of September. So yeah, no better. I will say this. Face Tigers Guardians. Guardians are the worst team in the playoffs of all conferences. They have a negative run differential. That's how not good they are at baseball. Literally reading a book on the science of the hot hand right now. Um, it's unpredictable basically. So it doesn't matter if they're hot right now. You basically just don't want to play the better team. The better team is the Tigers. The problem is I have to look at it matchups wise. They do have a guy named Scooble who I hear is pretty good at baseball. Um, Playing Scooble is scary because Scooble is going to shut anybody down. The problem is going to be the other side though is the Cleveland Guardians have a guy named Jose Ramirez who's awesome at baseball. Tigers don't really have a superstar at that level. They have a couple guys like Riley Green, that type of stuff, but their offense is not very scary. So can my Kirby match Tarek Skubal? Yes. Not because Kirby's as good as Skubal, but because their offense is worse than our offense. So I say that the Tigers are fine. I can do that, but I would rather roll. My gut says Cleveland, but honestly, it's 48-52. Like I really don't care. I'm more curious about the other side of it. Not getting ahead of myself, but if I like was projecting down the line, that's one where I'm like, okay, matchups really matter. Whereas this one is like Cleveland has depth like us. They have depth at starting pitching. They have like one superstar with the bat and a couple other guys who spray the ball around, but nothing that really scares you. So it's like, yeah, that's that. And whereas Cleveland's like, or Detroit's like, we got one superstar who's awesome, and then we have a couple really good hitters, and then nothing else. So it's like, what do you know, 12 half dozen the other, something like that. So they're just doing it a different way. So I just say like, gut says Cleveland, but I don't really care honestly in this one. I just wanted to go 3 games and get some people tired. That's what I want. Get tired, throw a lot of innings. Maybe if you get some extra inning games in there, whatever it takes. Like, yeah, let's make it go 3 games.
Well, Scoobs look good today. I don't know if that's his nickname, but I'm gonna go with it. Scoobs look pretty good. And they won the game, so we'll see how game two goes tomorrow. But it looks good. Looks good. Let's talk AL MVP race. This has been when I watched Sunday Night Baseball with the Astros Mariners. I think this was like a conversation in every inning,
Every day.
at
Yeah.
least. And Sean, what do you think?
There's everyone's talking about it. Talking about how it's going to be the closest MVP race ever. My it is comes down to narrative versus stats. What do you think? We can measure the position of catcher, but like, what does the unmeasurable of catcher mean to you, basically? That's what's I think, going to come down to. My gut, because I listen to a lot of sports podcasts, national media. I vote Cal. Obviously, there's some innate bias in there. My gut tells me he will not win this, based on what I've heard from national media. I think Aaron Judge will. My gut tells me Aaron Judge will win it. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope Cal wins it. But there was actually a podcast where Rick Riz and Dave Sims were on a podcast arguing their respective sides about it. But if they could go co MVP, that'd be honestly ideal. I don't think either deserve to lose it. Like the season Judge had, the season Cal had are like all timers basically, and it's gonna suck for one of them not to win it. Pretty much, I think. Um, but someone's. I want Cal to win, but I'm cautiously reserved.
Kevin, what do you think?
Um, they're both, yeah, they're both ridiculously good. I think Cal deserves to win it more. Just because I personally believe that catcher is more of a harder position to play.
Well,
And
yeah, that's not. I don't think that's a debate.
and
Catcher's
it's
obviously
more,
harder.
it's just more of an impact on how your team does. Like, um, yeah. So with that being said, and then him breaking all the records of a catcher, like, and then also as a switch hitter too, being that as well. Like, it's to me, it's just hands down. It's Cal, and it's not to take anything away from Judge. Like Judge had a fucking phenomenal say, while being hurt too for like 2 3 weeks. Um, so like it's really neck and neck, but like I do think Cal should have the edge over it. Um, but it also, I mean, Aaron Judge is what he is. He's a household brand name. He's on the Yankees and he's really fucking good. So unfortunately pans to his favor versus a catcher that before this season most people outside of Seattle probably didn't know who the hell he was. Let's be fair. Like because Seattle just doesn't get the publicity that the Yankees do.
Probably day to day fans, yeah, but I mean, baseball fans knew who
I
Cal
would say
Raleigh was.
probably 70% of baseball fans didn't know who Cal Raleigh was. Like didn't know
I,
how good he
I
was.
would
I would
I
agree
would
with that,
say
yeah.
like, what do you just say baseball fans? Like people who watch baseball games, or like people who are
Yeah,
aware of
just
baseball?
both, essentially both. Like just people who
Because
watch.
like people who are aware of baseball will know who Aaron Judge is and not Cal. But like you have to know who like because Cal was the best catcher in baseball last year. People know who Cal Raleigh is.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
I
do
don't know
they
about that.
caliber though? Like yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
I mean, well, like let's put it this way: everyone in fantasy obviously knows who he is.
yeah.
Um, and coming into this year, everyone knew who he was. And like the nerds or like the people who watch it, like yeah, there's gonna be like people who don't watch like just their team, like the Cincinnati Reds fans. But like if you're watching national stuff, you're gonna talk about Cal Raleigh last year at some point. But yeah, I would say like he's obviously less known than Aaron Judge. But there is such a thing as Aaron Judge fatigue, though. That is like a thing.
I think it's
MVPs
going to go
don't
the
know
other
that.
way. I think it's bias for Aaron Judge.
Well, it's been proven that people just don't vote for the same MVPs over and over. Like at all sports, that happens all the time. Miguel Cabrera won a fake triple crown, and Mike Trout should have won the MVP like 3 times over. Like, and they didn't vote for him because he already won it. Like it literally happens. Like it happens in our lifetime multiple times. Like so, yeah. It's just like the fatigue of like voting for the same MVP over and over is a real thing, and he just won it. So I'm not saying like one year makes it fatigue, but like it's not as much of a plus. I don't think. Like people are like we can't give it to the same guy. We can give it to this new guy now.
I, I mean, I guess it kind of depends how you look at it. Like, you know, we gave it to him last year, and he was so good this year. Like, why not give it to him again? But either way, I think this comes down, and I'm more on Kevin's camp. Like, I think I think it's either going to be an offensive award or it's going to be an overall player award. And, looking at the overall player, I think it's clear it's Cal Raleigh, especially with hitting 60 and breaking the catcher record, breaking the switch hitter record. The fact that the Mariners had as much success as they had, due in part to Cal Raleigh. Now that doesn't play as much of a factor as it
I was
did
gonna say because
in
the Yankees
previous
won
years, but
more
yeah.
than the
Well,
Mariners did.
no, I'm just saying, like, Mike Trout has won MVPs and his team has never done shit. So, it's I think it comes down to if you're looking at the whole picture as opposed to just offense, because right field is just not as important as catcher. It's
We,
not even close. Like, it's just not.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and when you look at defense as well as offense, I think it's Cal hands down. Like, I'm with Kevin on this. Like,
Well, that's
so
see that's the where the problem is. We have numbers to measure all that, and the numbers say defense does not make up for the gap in how much better Judge was with the bat.
no, no,
I
no.
mean, you could say that. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that.
Sure.
That's
The stats
Yeah.
don't accompany a lot of things.
Yeah.
The stats don't
No,
accompany his knowledge of
absolutely not.
knowing every pitcher and what they have to
that's
do.
and that's true. They don't. Yeah, and it comes down to basically what Kevin said is the only thing it doesn't account for, and it's
Like,
how much
Cal Raleigh
film and
affects
everything.
every pitch, literally every pitch.
No, it does incorporate pitch framing though. So no, it does that, but it doesn't incorporate knowing and dealing with every pitcher.
Right.
Yes, it does.
No,
So
it
we
does
have
not.
that. It
Um,
absolutely does.
it does not. All right, let's talk World Series predictions. We've made our at the beginning of the season. I don't know if you guys remember yours. I went boring. I went Yankees, Dodgers. Still in. Not quite as confident in it as I was in the beginning of the year. So if I do get a redo at the beginning of the playoffs, Phillies look good, man. Phillies look good. I like the Phillies in the NL. In the AL, I don't want to be biased. I think the Mariners do look good. I I think I think they win the first series, and then I I think Toronto's really good. I think it's Toronto, Philly. If you're asking me to pick, Canada. Let's go Canada. Maple Leafs, not the Toronto Maple Leafs hockey team, but the Maple Leaf of Canada, the only team in baseball from Canada. So, Kevin, what do you think?
I think out of the NL, and I don't know how because they just find ways to win games. I think we go with Milwaukee. Um, they just find ways. I don't know. I think it's voodoo a little bit. Honestly, I mean, you just can't flirt with voodoo. And then the AL, I will be biased because fuck it, let's just go win the whole thing.
Ah,
Uh, so I'll say us versus the Brewers. Uh, Comes down to pitching, and like I said, we pretty much have the best pitching. So, and then I would say that for the NL, but there's nobody in the AL that's doing voodoo, but NL is doing voodoo. Brewers. So I think voodoo supersedes the pitching, and it could when if their voodoo is powerful enough, the Brewers might have enough to take us in the series. That voodoo's good.
voodoo's powerful. Etsy witches, voodoos, all
Yeah,
powerful.
fucking witches, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean, what do you think?
I mean, Kevin's right. The Brewers are not a good baseball team, but the numbers play out they're the best team in baseball this year, and I don't know how that's a thing. But like, and they did it for the entire length of the season. Like, it wasn't just like a 1 month thing. They just did it
Yeah.
every game. Like, I talked about it with Kevin, with our buddy Brett. They have like one guy with an OPS over 800. Like what? That's not a thing. Like what? And it's like 806. Like it's not like 850. It's just like it's barely over 800. Like you don't score many runs, and you don't pitch super great. Like you have a couple of good pitchers, but you don't pitch super great. You trade away your best relief pitcher in the offseason to the Yankees. Like, how is this happening? But it is. I don't know. So it's perfect. It's voodoo. I don't get it. I am going to still play to talent, though, to Matthew's point, the Phillies. I just don't know how they match up against the Phillies. Like, the Phillies have better pitching and better hitting. Like, I don't know how they beat them. But to Kevin's point, it's talent versus voodoo. And I don't know. I don't know. And again, if the Dodgers are healthy, they have a great rotation as well. And Otani hits nukes apparently, and he hit 2 tonight. So Dodgers have 4 MVPs on their roster. You can't ignore that. So and probably Otani, who just won another one, which sorry, maybe it is an offensive only award because Otani won it. So I just man, I guess I say Phillies because they're just so deep with the rotation. I say it's Dodgers and Phillies, but like if the Brewers somehow did it, the Cubs are also super good. Like the NL is just really good. Like if the Cubs won it, I wouldn't be shocked either. I guess I'll say Phillies. Got into my head, and then I'll go AL. Okay, the Blue Jays are the 4th best team in the American League. They could win it, but they're not non-starter. The Yankees over the course of the whole season were the best team in the American League. But since the All-Star break, I would say it's the Mariners and the Yankees on the collision course. So the most talented 2 teams. Boston's very good as well. I think they can get in there. I just the Yankees got. I think whoever wins this series is going to run over the Blue Jays. I'm doing Phillies Mariners. I'm doing Phillies Mariners. I just think that I think Boston's going to win the series because it was a huge. So for historical context, every playoff series basically is 60-40 because baseball playoffs are a crapshoot every time, no matter what. There's only one team based on odds right now that is not 60-40, and it is 62-48 for the Dodgers Reds, basically. So because especially in a 3-game series, it is the margins are so small. Tarek Skubal wins you 1 game, boom, you're already halfway there. You get lucky, doesn't matter. So these shorter game series, baseball condensed down, it's just like really rolling the dice. But I just think that the Red Sox won the first game. It's huge leg up, massive, massive, massive. Because they threw best starters, and the Red Sox won. I think the Red Sox then beat the Blue Jays. And if you told me the Yankees met the Mariners, it'd be one thing. But I think the Red Sox meet the Mariners, and I think the Red Sox don't match up very well against the Mariners. So I think Mariners are able to shut that down, go there. Are we picking the winners of the World Series?
If you want to. If you want to declare right here, you can declare right here, and I hope I'm wrong.
Fuck it, let's just win the whole.
There you go. Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
I'm wrong because I think the Phillies take that. The Phillies just match up so well against us. They pitch. We're like Kevin's point. We are a great pitching team. The Phillies might be the one team who's better. Like that's the problem. Like
The Phillies also dumped on us those 3 games that they were there.
because the Phillies are good at baseball, guys. They're really
true.
talented. Like
They are.
they're just a really good baseball team. But I think I don't think we get embarrassed by the Phillies in the playoffs. I don't think we get embarrassed by any team. We're that good top to bottom. We could hang with any NL team. We can hang with any team. I think we might lose a 7-game series to the Phillies because it's just going to come down to depth. And Mariners have crazy depth, but so do the Phillies. And so it's just going to be like we're going to go depth and depth and depth, and it's going to be the team who catches the break. And my gut tells me the Phillies catch that break. Like I would love to see a 75-game series.
I think that's your PTSD, just not quite having that full faith, maybe.
Wait, the Phillies are a good baseball team, guys.
Well, I know, yeah.
They're a really good baseball team.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
I say we lose a 7-game series to the Phillies, and you're like, man, PTSD. I'm like, Phillies take out this point. They're paid to play baseball too, and they're really good at baseball.
I'm experiencing it too. I can't.
Zach Wheeler is very, very good and could be Cy Young every year, except for Paul Skeens guy. Like he's very, very good at baseball. Like they can play some ball. Turns out.
All right. Well, let us know what you think of the Seattle Mariners and your prediction for the AL playoffs as well as the World Series. Go ahead and Blue Sky at Simon Master B. Sean is NastyBilly22. Kevin is Emerald Bowler on X. Kevin is C2Believe, SCA2Believe. Sean is also NastyBilly22. Subscribe to us. Let us know what you think of the topics we talk about in the comments below. We will probably take at least a week off, maybe 2, and we'll come back. We will see where the Mariners are at. We'll see where the Seahawks are at. We'll see where the Kraken are at. There's a lot of sports going on, man. It's fall. It's fall, y'all. So get some pumpkin spice lattes, and we'll see you next time. Washington East to West Sports. Bring back our Sonics.